Welcome back for another video. In this video we look at the top players with predicted points in Gameweek 21 and over the next 5 game weeks, as always to help with your transfer planning and captaincy. Predicted points are courtesy of FPL Review. So let's start with the goalkeepers, and Edison's top projected 4.5 points home to Wolves. City's defence are actually one of the worst underperformers relative to their expected goals conceded this season, with 14 expected goals conceded but they've let in 18. Their 7 clean sheets can be beaten by Man United with 8, Arsenal with 9 and Newcastle with 11. Edison is the safest route into the Man City defence though, and they of course have a double game at 23, not far off, along with Arsenal. Pope is second on the points projections with 4.1 points away to Crystal Palace. He's the top scoring goalkeeper in the game currently. That said, if we look further afield to Gameweek 25, a reminder that there will be some blank Gameweek fixtures then. Man United and Newcastle are the 2 favourites to blank that game week. This graphic from Ben Crellin shows which fixtures are safe in light green. 2 of the 4 fixtures at the top will become blank game weeks: Man United vs Brentford, Newcastle vs Brighton, Leeds vs Southampton and West Ham vs Nottingham Forest. This is because they're still in the League Cup and the League Cup final clashes with Gameweek 25. Keep that in mind, as Man United, Brentford, Newcastle and Brighton are the favourites to end up with a blank Gameweek 25. Count up how many players you have from those teams and just keep at the back of your head how many players you could end up with a blank Gameweek 25. Kepa misses out on the projections this game week after putting up a 10-pointer in Gameweek 20, with Chelsea travelling away to Liverpool for a big game for both sides. Alisson's projected 3.8 points. Over the season, Liverpool's 26 expected goals conceded actually ranks 16th in the league, a remarkable drop-off from past seasons. Many are pointing this towards a serious lack of depth in midfield. Liverpool don't look very likely to sign a midfielder in January, which might rule out the Liverpool defenders as an option for the rest of the season. Liverpool do have a postponement home to Wolves yet to be rearranged though. Depending on where that drops in as a double game week, there might be a temptation to gamble on a defender still. Moving on to the defenders, and Trippier tops the projections with 4.6 points for the Palace game. Came across a great stat from All About FPL, which is that Robertson is the highest scoring defender in FPL history with 213 points, which came in the 2018-19 season. During that season, Robertson had 115 points from his first 19 games. Trippier is already on 133 points from his first 19 games, so it's 18 points clear of where Robertson was at this point, on course to beat it. 1 blank in his last 14 games for Trippier. Due to his ownership, it's wise to double up in defence though, so that for every Newcastle clean sheet you're gaining points over the Trippier owners. Just be mindful of the potential blank game week 25 from the slide before if you do go there. Shah, Burn and Botman all among the top 10 projections for game week 21. Unbelievably, with 81 and 79 points, Burn and Botman sit at 4.5 mil still, the same price they started the season at. At the halfway mark, if they keep pace, they'll be on for a 160 point season, which would be a ridiculous return for 4.5 mil. Man United are away to Arsenal this game week, so Shaw misses out on the projections. That said, Man United might end up with a double game week 22. It's been strongly rumoured, but a couple of things need to happen for this to be possible. Leeds are away to Cardiff in the FA Cup on the 18th of January. If they win that, then they're through to the next round, where they play against either Boreham Wood or Accrington Stanley. Man United played Reading in the next round. So those fixtures are midweek before game week 22. And if Leeds and Man United don't draw that game, then they progress to the next round. If either of them draw their game, then the next midweek they have to play a rematch instead. So they need to win or lose, and then the midweek becomes available for a double game week for Leeds and Man United. With that in mind, if you can afford to roll a transfer, don't be afraid to take 2 into any of the next few game weeks. Ideally you'll want 2 transfers for game week 23 if you're not already tripled up on Arsenal and Man City for the double game week anyway. Moving on to the midfielders, and Salah tops the projections with 6.5 for the Chelsea game at Anfield. 2 out of form sides meet for a very hard one to predict, with Liverpool 9th and Chelsea 10th as it stands. Darwin was a big miss of injury in the Brighton game, with Gakpo deputising through the middle. We don't yet know if Darwin will be back for game week 21 or not. A reminder to hold on to your transfers until later in the week, with game week 20 not wrapped up until Thursday after Man City and Spurs play. An early transfer could be a costly mistake, as we all have players involved in the double game week fixtures to play still. The Arsenal assets are just ridiculous value this season. You need to strongly consider getting 2 of Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli and Nketiah. You might get away with leaving it a week before Arsenal face Wolves in game week 22 and then a double game week 23 with 2 home fixtures. Ødegaard's now the top scorer midfielder, where Saka's only 1 point behind De Bruyne and he's tied with Salah. There's genuine belief Arsenal could go all the way, which would be their first Premier League title since 2003-04, so motivation will be at an all-time high. Motivation levels are immeasurable through data, but something worth factoring into your thinking, particularly at the tail end of the season, at the other end of the spectrum with some clubs having nothing to play for by that point, lower down the table. Rodrigo's projected 4.9 points. We talked about the potential double Gameweek 22 for Leeds and Man United, and even if it doesn't drop in, he's a great pick for 6.4 mil, perhaps as an Almiron replacement who has slowed down in recent weeks. Leeds' next 5 fixtures are Brentford, Forest, Man United, Everton and Southampton, 3 home games in there. 10 goals and 1 assist this season for Rodrigo. No midfielders actually scored or even matched his 10 goals. One of the upsets of last game was Brighton's 3-0 win over Liverpool, and they've got a midfield stacked of talent as well. McAllister makes the projections with 4.3 points. However, Solly March and Mitoma also need highlighting. Since the restart, March's returns are 13, 1, 11 and 19, only 5.1 mil, and Mitoma for 4.9 mil has 2 goals and 1 assist since the restart. Mitoma is my preference still between the two, just about, but both are great value as a 4th or 5th midfielder. They're away to Leicester this game week, and then home to Bournemouth, away to Palace and then home to Fulham. 4 nice fixtures on the horizon. Brighton still have 2 postponements to be rearranged, likely as double game weeks. We don't yet know where they'll drop in, but they'll have Bournemouth and Crystal Palace to play once rescheduled. Onto the forwards, and Ferguson misses out from Brighton, but he deserves a mention as well, as a 4.5 mil forward who has 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 3 games. Could be an absolute steal if he continues getting minutes. Perhaps the best approach for the next leg will be Kane and Haaland as the front 2, with Ferguson first on the bench. This allows you to invest into the value the midfielders are offering. Haaland and Kane, the 2 premiums, are worth the price tag up top, while De Bruyne and Salah have disappointed in midfield. And it's the likes of Ødegaard, Rashford, Martinelli, Saka, Rodrigo, etc. that are given the best points per million, which is ultimately what we want. Haaland tops the projections for Gameweek 21 with 7.5 points for the home fixture against Wolves. Captaincy will be an interesting one after he blanked against Chelsea and Man United. Is it worth the temptation to opt for someone else like Kane? I'll read all your comments, so let me know what your transfer plans are and your captaincy thinking. Kane is second among the forward projections, and he's away to Fulham, who have 36 expected goals conceded over the season, which ranks rock bottom. That said, since the restart, they haven't conceded more than 1 goal in a game, including 2 clean sheets. They've had an expected goal conceded every 65.2 minutes, which ranks 11th, so there's been some definite improvement. Minutes per expected goal involvement are better measurement here, as they've played an extra fixture than many teams. Jesus sounds way off returning based on Arteta's recent comments, which will make Nketiah a perfect budget forward still, perhaps from Gameweek 22 or certainly Gameweek 23 when he doubles. He's projected 4.3 points against Man United, and he's certainly passing the eye test for me. Tony marked his return from injury last game week, scoring from the penalty spot as Brentford saw Bournemouth off 2-0. Referring back to the earlier graphic, Brentford do have a fair chance of blanking in Gameweek 25, which is one thing to be mindful of. There's no standout must-have transfers this game week, so if your team's in decent enough shape, carrying 2 transfers over could be wise. Sometimes it pays to be patient and absorb the information an extra game it gives you before making moves. Nonetheless, if this video was useful, please hit like and subscribe for more FPL content to come before the deadline. There's more FPL content on screen now if you'd like to continue watching. See you soon for the next one.